Welcome back everyone. There are not many questions about the Lakers' rotation heading into next season, but one of the few would have to involve their backup shooting guard spot. At the moment, it appears to be a battle between second-year guard Max Christie and newly signed player Cam Reddish, which will likely be decided after training camp. Although there does appear to be an early favorite here, with that player being Max Christie. According to Jovan Buha of The Athletic, the Lakers are quote-unquote confident that he can become the 8th or 9th man within their rotation, and that they are higher on him due to his shooting, defense, and upside. And if you have been keeping up with my content, then you'll know that I have been saying that for quite a while now. He simply is a better fit for what they need right now. On the other hand though, I would not completely pencil him in quite yet. Cam Reddish himself has plenty of upside here too, and while he has not been able to put it all together quite yet, maybe now could be the time that he finally does it. I mean, definitely a big question mark with that one, but you never know what can happen. And with that in mind, we're going to talk about what it will take for every shooting guard the Lakers have to get playing time. We have already talked about the direct battle between Reddish and Christie, but how about their entire shooting guard rotation? I for one think there could be a surprise contributor at some point for them, so we're going to talk about all of that in today's video. But real quick before we get into it, I would like to invite you to join our NBA Discord. If you enjoy having NBA or Laker-related discussion, being updated on NBA news, or chatting with other NBA fans in real time, then I guarantee you would enjoy it. Or if you don't have Discord, feel free to follow me on Twitter to keep up with my thoughts on everything NBA related there as well. There will be a link for both of them in the video description down below. Without wasting any more time here though, let's dive right into it. And we'll begin by briefly talking about their starting shooting guard spot, which I think we can all agree will be going to Austin Reaves. There's really not much of a debate here, though there definitely are differing opinions on how much production he will provide them with this season. I'm really not sure why at this point, but there are those that continue to doubt his ability to get better. Many people are calling him a quote-unquote white boy replacement for Alex Caruso during his rookie year, and claiming that he was really not that good. But even after proving that he definitely belonged in the NBA during that time, many people continue to doubt him. The narrative then shifted to Laker fans are simply hyping up an average role player, which he then proved wrong again. But then even after putting up borderline all-star level numbers following the trade deadline last season, many people laughed at the idea of him eventually becoming an actual all-star, and I have proof of that in the comments section of the video I made regarding it. Now, I'm not saying that he will become an all-star either this season or even within the next 2 or 3, but I am very confident in him continuing to provide that kind of production. You might disagree, but I feel like that will be the norm for him moving forward. We simply cannot overlook what he did for them last season. I mean, the guy had nearly a 50-40-90 season for them after all. And not only that, but he put up nearly 17 points, over 5 assists, shot 57% from the field, and over 44% from 3 following the trade deadline. No matter what you think about him, you would be lying if you said that's not pretty damn good. And while his improvement from a numbers standpoint will be limited due to playing behind LeBron and Anthony Davis, I really believe he can keep this up. But how about the shooting guard rotation behind him? That is where things really get interesting. And between what I think, along with what we heard from that report from The Athletic, it appears that Max Christie will be his direct backup. And I for one am a big believer in Max Christie. He completely blew away the expectations I had for him during his rookie year, and now he looks like he took yet another leap forward during the offseason. Now, let's not overreact to Summer League here, but if you watched him play in it, you would have a very hard time not being impressed, and not even from a numbers standpoint here either. I mean, sure, putting up about 20 points, 5.8 rebounds, 3.8 assists, and shooting 55% from 3 is pretty damn good, but I was even more impressed by how comfortable he looked on the court. He got pretty much anywhere he wanted to, and then made the correct decision time after getting there. In my opinion, that right there shows more growth than putting up 20 points per game in Summer League ever will. Again, it can be easy to overreact to Summer League numbers, but the part that's truly noteworthy happens to be their decision making. After all, he won't be looked at to fill that role during the regular season. What they will be asking from him is to play good defense, be a reliable catch and shoot guy, and to simply be a good decision maker. I know he might only be 20 years old yet, but Christie has already shown a lot of maturity in that regard. He quite obviously can fill the role of a 3-and-D wing, and in my opinion, is a much better bet to do it reliably compared to Cam Reddish. And for an 8th or 9th guy within your rotation, you want reliability, not a guy who will sometimes make your jaw drop with his potential, but then other times look like he does not even belong in your rotation. But again, I'm not someone who will ever completely rule a guy out. I'm definitely more confident in Christie, but I'm really hoping that Reddish can finally put it all together. And in order for him to do that, he will really need to change up his mindset. Up until this point, he has put a big priority on offense. I mean, he often appears to care more about putting up points than anything else. And that can really make him hard to root for at times, because when he really wants to be, Cam Reddish can be a borderline lockdown defender, and I'm not joking about that either. There will be times that he can make your jaw drop on defense. He can pretty much defend every position 1 through 4, is athletic enough to match up with the best wing player on the court, and can even be a defensive pest at times too. Again, Reddish is fully capable of doing all of that. The frustrating part is that he does not seem to care about making that commitment. I mean, sure, he could improve his defensive awareness and IQ a bit, but I would say about 90% of it for him has to do with his commitment. And then on the other side of that, he's not been a good 3-point shooter either. He is only a 32.2% career 3-point shooter, and has only shot about 35% one time in his 4-year career. Although he is significantly better from the corner, shooting about 37% from 3 during his career from that area, roughly 5% higher than his normal 3-point shooting average. And if Cam Reddish hopes to become a 3-and-D guy for them, he must be able to knock down that shot. We already know that Christie can do that, but Reddish has been a bit more volatile, both on offense and defense too. At the end of the day, they really need him to understand what this team needs from him. It's not a guy who goes out there and puts up about 10 to 12 points per game on below average efficiency. Rather, they need him to be a guy who routinely commits to playing defense, can knock down corner threes, and is happy with whatever role they end up giving him. If he can do that, then I could see Cam Reddish pushing Christie for playing time, and if they both play well, then Taurean Prince could even be under pressure at small forward. With all of that being said though, how about a Darkhorse option for them at shooting guard? I think they might have one, and I'm not talking about their 40th overall draft pick Maxwell Lewis here either. Rather, I'm talking about one of their two-way contracts, with that player being D'Moi Hodge. Now, he definitely will have a difficult pathway for playing time here, but if they ever deal with an injury, then D'Moi Hodge could find this opportunity, and I believe if he gets it, then he could very well end up keeping it too. If you watched him play throughout Summer League, he really looked like a picture-perfect role player for them. A guy who plays great point of attack defense, has a lightning quick shooting motion, and then is a very good backdoor cutter. He really reminds me of a mix between Kentavious Caldwell-Pope and DeAnthony Melton, and those two are great role players to be compared to. I would not even be shocked if he ends up being elevated to their 15-man roster after training camp. Darvin Ham absolutely loves good point of attack defenders, and then with Hodge being a very good 3-point shooter here too, he could quickly catch their attention. Another pathway to playing time for him would be if Gabe Vincent never gets hurt. Vincent is by far their best point of attack defender, and they don't really have anyone else they could replace him with, which could potentially be another way for Hodge to get a look within their rotation. But with all of that being said though, what do you guys think? How do you feel about the battle between Reddish and Christie, and then the Lakers shooting guard rotation as a whole? Comment your thoughts down below. That will do it for this video though. Big thank you to those of you who took the time to watch until the end of this video, and until the end of all of my videos in general. I really hope you enjoyed it, and if you did, be sure to drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel if you have not already, and turn on notifications to get notified right away when I drop a new video. But as always, thank you for watching and have a great day.